fun card trick to teach you how to spell the numbers 1 to 10 correctly. So I'll put the numbers up here on the board to help you while I do this trick. So you can see my cards aren't in any particular order, they're all mixed up. But if you spell these numbers correctly, they will appear in order. So let's spell 1 first, O-N-E. So I put one card under with each letter, so O-N-E, and then I show the next card. 2, T-W-O, T-W-O, and then I show the next card and it goes out of the pack. 3, T-H-R-E-E, T-H-R-E-E. Show the card and it's out of the pack. 4, F-O-U-R, F-O-U-R. 5, F-I-V-E, F-I-V-E. 6, S-I-X, S-I-X. 7, S-E-V-E-N, S-E-V-E-N. 8, E-I-G-H-T, E-I-G-H-T. 9, N-I-N-E, N-I-N-E. 10, T-E-N, T-E-N. Now if you want to do that trick too, this is the order that you have to put the cards in to make the trick work. Have fun! D14, day 1, we're introducing you to the numbers 1 to 10. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now when you look at these numbers, there's some tricky things in them, so we're just going to talk about them a little bit. When they're working out how to write the number 1, the word for the number 1, they didn't want to write it like this because that means you've won a race. So they looked at other words that mean 1. So they looked at words like lonely, and inside lonely there's the word 1. Alone, inside that word it means 1, and there's the word 1 hidden inside it. And lone, there's the word 1 hidden inside that too. So they took that O-N-E out of lonely, alone, and lone, and used it for the number 1, which means one thing, a single thing. For the word 2, they looked at the other words that we already had for 2. So we had T-O for 2, like I will go to the shop. We had this T-double-O for I will go to, means as well. So they wanted the number 2 to be spelt differently so people wouldn't get confused with which 2 a person was talking about. So they looked at other words that mean 2. So they looked at words like twice and 12 and 20. And they all start with TW. So they thought, oh, we'll just use TW with an O at the end of it and people will know that that W is silent and that will say the number 2. 3 is a nice easy one. You can actually sound that one. You can go E. And the E sound on the end of 3 is 2 E's. 4, we've got the OR sound, same as in your, F-O-U-R. This 4 means when you go for a walk. This 4 is the number 4. 5, we've got the E on the end making the I make its long sound, I. And we know English words can't end in V, that's why we've got an E on there too. 6 is X. That's a nice easy one for you. This is an easy one for you to sound too. So sometimes we give that a funny sound at the end and we don't say it properly. We give it a schwat sound, but if we say it correctly, it's easier for us to spell and we can hear that it's en at the end. 8 is a tricky one. This 8 means when you've eaten your dinner, you ate it all up. This 8 is the number 8. Now, this is an old German word, and they would give that a guttural sound. Sounds a little bit like someone's going to spit on you. They go, we can't make that sound, so when we say 8, we leave that sound out. But when we write it, we have to put those two letters in. So it's E-I-G-H-T. 9 is just where the E is making the previous I make its long sound, I, and 10 is a nice easy one. It's a nice easy one to do. So let's have a look at our pictures that we've got here. 1 means a single thing. There's only one apple. 2, you've got 2 feet, 2 ears, 2 eyes. It means double of something, or two things if we're counting. 3 scoops of ice cream on the cone. 4, a 4-leaf clover. 5, a star with 5 little points to it. 6, a 6-pack. If you do lots of exercise, you might have lots of muscles on your tummy. Gives you a 6-pack. 7, there's 7 beautiful vases with flowers in them. 8, we know a spider has 8 legs. 9, there's 9 different types of lollipop. And 10, you've got 10 fingers on your hands, 10 toes on your feet. Let's try reading these, sounding them and spelling them, and then writing them. Some of these we're not going to be able to sound out. We'll just have to spell them because they're too difficult to sound out. So 1, we're just going to spell it O-N-E, O-N-E, O-N-E. Then cover it and write it. You can do the rest of those on your own. D14, day 2, we're learning how to spell the numbers 1 to 10. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The number 1 we talked about yesterday is not, we couldn't spell it this way because we already had that meaning you won a race or you won a competition. So they looked at other words that mean 1, and lone, lonely and alone all mean 1. So you'll find hidden inside the word lone and lonely and alone is the word 1. So they decided to spell it like that. When they were deciding how to spell the word 2, they took it from words with a that also mean 2, like twice and 20. And you can see they both start with TW. So they decided to spell the number 2 with T, starting with TW, just like these other words that also mean 2. But they made the W silent when we say it. So we go to oo rather than trying to pronounce it. This 2 means as well, so don't put that one in. And this one means like if you're going to the shop or going to do something. So the numbers are spelt quite differently so that we know they're definitely numbers. So once you know how to read those, you can go back and see if you can spell them 3 times, O-N-E, 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 cover them, and then write them once. Down here, you have to write the number and draw the shape. So you've got to write the word for the number. If this is the number 2, you've got to write the word for that number, and then you've got to draw that many shapes. That's a square, a little square, so you've got to draw 2 little squares in that box. That's 4 rectangles, so you'd have to write the word 4 and then draw 4 rectangles in the box. You can do the rest of that on your own. Down here, this is a thinking time for you. It's got a sentence and you've got to work out the answer to the maths sum. If I have 4 owls and I get 3 more, how many owls will I have? So you've got to work that out and put the answer in there, and you've got to use a word for the answer. You can't write the number. If I have 10 shells and I give you 5, how many will I have left? So you have to write down the word for that answer, not the number. If 3 of us have 2 feet each, how many feet do we all have? And you'd have to write that answer in as a word, not as the number. Off you go. D14, day 3, we're revising how to spell the numbers 1 to 10. It's very important that you know how to spell these numbers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You may want to do what I've done and go back and highlight the special sounds in each word to make them easier to remember. Down here you have to count and write the number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have to write the word for the number. You can finish those ones on your own. You can go all the way through and we finish off with one sum. So you have to write the word 1. Remember, don't put the number, you've got to actually write the word for the number. Down here it says read and colour the list words, draw one sentence. I won the race. I have one neck. So you have to highlight the list word, which would be 1, and you have to draw one sentence in the box. I will look for you. I have 4 socks. There's the list word is the number 4. I have 2 feet. Mum is glad too. This too means as well. I ate my lunch. I am 8 years old. You've got to work out which are the words in there that are numbers and highlight them and then draw the pictures in the boxes.